Here's a spoiler chart for what will and will not be talked about in this video. Basically nothing's here that would affect your enjoyment of the game's story. And now to our featured presentation.
Play Astral Chain.
For those who don't know, Astral Chain, originally released in September 2019 exclusively on Nintendo Switch, is an action game where you play through levels as a police officer a couple decades in the future, and you team up with a demon on a chain to fight other demons. It was made by Platinum Games, who are known for making great games such as the Bayonetta series, Wonderful 101, Nier Automata, and Metal Gear Watermelon Slashy Slash. They've also made a couple of really terrible games, but we don't talk about those ones. Astral Chain is also my game of the year for 2019, even though a new Fire Emblem game came out the exact same year. And yes, I'm making this video in 2020 because procrastination nation! Astral Chain is also the best new IP for the Switch, but like, what's the competition?
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. His jewelry, whack. His footsteps, whack. The way that he talks, whack. The way that he doesn't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
Astral Chain wasn't talked about much when it came out, since it was released around the same time as a lot of the other major Switch releases, so it flew under the radar a little bit, even though it sold over 1 million copies. And I'm not very good at explaining why a game is good, so I'm just gonna poorly describe what the game is and all the dope shit in it, and hopefully that'll explain why the game is good. What is the setting and the story? Alright, here's the abridged version. So it's a couple decades in the future from now, like in the 2070s, which is how you know it's not a real story, since like we're not making it that far in the real world, and humanity lives on an ark in the ocean that's split into different zones like the Hunger Games, and they're out there because of like a meteor impact that released a bunch of red pollution. And is all this stuff a biblical reference? You know what, this part's not important. Humanity is under attack.
Oh no!
By demons from another dimension. They're called chimeras. The demons are really hard to fight. You can't even see them with your naked eye. But then people remember,
magic must defeat magic.
so they capture a couple of demons, reprogram them so they sort of follow your orders, call them legions instead of chimera, and they use the demons to fight the demons. Your character is a rookie police officer along with your twin of the opposite gender you pick, named Akira Howard. You two get put on Task Force Neuron. They're the ones who use the demons to fight the demons. You receive your demon pal in the middle of a mission, and you take out your dual disc from Yu-Gi-Oh! And you do some Power Rangers Super Sentai Henshin animation, and boom, you got a legion who fights for you and with you. Then after the prologue mission, a weird anime opening plays that felt really out of place. I don't know, the prologue's a little bit but the rest of the game is more grounded and takes itself more seriously, but never too seriously. The story is easy to follow, complements the gameplay well, has enough mystery, action, stakes, and spooky stuff to keep you engaged, along with well enough written characters in a desperate struggles for survival. What's the gameplay? There's 12 levels, each one takes like an hour or two, and there's a good amount of variation between each level. In general, they all follow a similar formula. In the first part, you start at the police station, where you can get some coffee, talk to the Uwu Kirby vending machine, chat with the other cops who have gone nuts after their divorce, customize your outfit, if you've unlocked some, upgrade your equipment, max out your skill tree, give your legion a dope new paint job, if you've unlocked some, take your demon to the car wash. Yeah, get clean. Oh no! Here you can do all tutorials whenever you want, which is a feature that I feel like needs to be in more games, especially games with complex systems in them. If you're anything like me and you step away from the game because real life, and you come back like a month later and you've got all the controls and all the little intricacies to the combat like sync attacks, you can relearn everything. And there are even videos of every technique that clearly show you how to do things, because that's how you do good tutorials, instead of, I don't know, all text. In the second part of the mission, you're in a nice futuristic city, or a rundown city, or a really rundown city, and you're usually investigating something plot related, like a missing persons report, along with doing mini missions in the form of regular police work, which are called your blue cases. There's a whole lot of varying gameplay objectives in here. Sometimes you're cleaning up demon feces, running down graffiti artists, you gonna pay for that wall, curing someone's crippling crack addiction, yeah, no coronavirus for you. Dropping fat stacks of ice cream, aww. Trying to force a confession, finding lost pussies, the horrible puzzle from coolmathgames.com, all sorts of stuff. Even though they're all a little mundane, they're fun and quick and interesting due to the variety of them. They even made picking up trash fun. To help you complete the missions, you have Detective Vision from Batman Arkham. Here it's called the Iris. It's Mark Zuckerberg's wet dream that gives you personal data on every single person on the Ark. You do the blue cases and get clues towards plot-related stuff, and when you collect all the words, you enter like a Phoenix Wright-style cross-examination where you and your partner NPC for that mission figure out stuff you probably already figured out. But the blue cases often make you feel good about yourself, like when you help a lost child find their parent. It's not like these characters are based off the American police. Instead, you're someone whose job it is to help make the world a better place. Literally in the first mission before there's any real on-foot combat, you're helping people evacuate. The blue cases are also very calming in their simplicity, and it lends itself to having good game feel and making you feel immersed in the world. They also contrast well with the next part of each level. In the third part, you fight! Yeah, we already did that. These are your red cases. Sometimes you fight things in the city, sometimes you get pulled into the Astral Chain, which is
Another dimension!
and oftentimes in mission, you'll fight in both places. The Astral Plane is a demon's home turf, and here you use your legions to do some light puzzle solving using their unique abilities. The Astral Plane looks really cool the first time you go, but by the 20th time you go, it gets a little tad bit stale, especially when compared to the city sections. They're all bright and vibrant, but the Astral Plane's still pretty cool. It really gives you a sense of danger and tension when in the first part of the level, everything was calm and peaceful, which sets up a good baseline for when in the second part, shit hits the fucking fan. It's not like Bayonetta 2, a game I like by the way, where it's just like, fight over here, fight over there, NPCs who? Fight, 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 I'm invincible! Level complete. The contrast in Astral Chain's levels is good pacing, makes you more invested in the plight of the random civilians you had just helped. It's good game design. The first half is all like, sure, I'll play this game with you kiddos. Oh, what a pleasant game.
A few moments later.
Oh god, everything's on fire! Everyone I just helped is in danger! Holy shit! In one mission, partway through the game, you're having your big anime sky battle against this sci-fi Donkey Kong looking motherfucker, and everyone's trying to shoot him. Everyone shoot him down, and the helicopters crashing out of the sky, and boom, 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 boom. And then chasing him through all these buildings. You're trying to like, oh, she's about to shoot me, and then you chase him up to the rooftop, and then you beat his ass up there like, wait, back! And there's all this cool shit happening on screen. And then the next mission, you're on the cleanup crew the day after your big galactic space fight, and you get to see all the damage it caused. It's good pacing, but how do you fight? You yourself have an X-Baton, which is 3 weapons in one, that it's perfect for poking demons, and you can freely switch between the 3 modes. You got a baton that's quick melee hits, and a gun blaster that does ranged attacks for some pew pew. It's good against flying enemies, and you got a thick sword that does heavy damage. It's good against dudes with shields. You also have like a whirly-twirly dodge move you use to dodge. And in addition to healing and support items you can use during combat, there's also items like drones and grenades that you'll forget about until the final boss when you run out of resources and just start trying everything. But if that was all the combat, you'd be playing any old action game. This isn't Devil May not join Smash Brothers. This is Platinum Games' classic stylish combat where there's way too much going on screen. People actually follow what's happening. And what makes the combat unique here is your pet demon friend on this super friendly looking leash known as your Legion. You can manually move your Legion around with the right stick, or you can just send out your Legion and they'll start auto-attacking enemies in range like a party member in Xenoblade, and they do way more damage than you do. They have a limited meter for how long they can stay out, but it depletes pretty slowly and charges back up pretty quickly. You'll be fighting alongside your Legion way more often than you'll be fighting alone. You have 5 Legions that can be used both in and out of combat in unique ways, and you can freely switch between them. You start out with just the Sword Legion for a little while, but throughout the game you periodically unlock the other ones, and you fight enemies that the new Legion will be good against, because that's how you make a video game. Your first Legion is the Sword Legion. It has swords for hands. It does standard slashing melee attacks, and it can also slash through electrical currents. The Arrow Legion uses a bow and arrow to do ranged attacks. If an enemy is flying around out of range, then the Arrow Legion is probably the one to go with. You can also go full Breath of the Wild and slow down time and aim the bow manually yourself to shoot stuff. The Arm Legion is the most gangster one. It didn't come here to make friends. It punches the shit out of everything. You can pick up stuff off the ground, throw it at your enemies. You can go full everlasting combination Tengen, Toppa Gurren Lagann, put the fucking Legion on your head, and you float around and glide over hazardous areas and boosty all over the place, and when you attack, you just wreck everything. Then there's the Beast Legion. It's everyone's favorite legion. It's because it's a doggy, like a literal dog. You can ride it like a toddler riding the family Labrador, or like the best feature from Let's Go Eevee that got cut from the future Pokemon games. Whoops! The pupper can sniff stuff and dig stuff up to find hidden items and burrowing foes. Finally, there's the Axe Legion. It's a big shield. That's about it. You can take some hits, and then you do a counterattack. I'm okay with it not coming until later in the game, because honestly, it's my least favorite one. It's kind of slow and clunky to use, but maybe I'm just using it wrong. And then there's sync attacks. When you and your legion are perfectly in sync, and by that I mean press the left trigger when the screen flashes, you can do a sync attack, which is a really cool combo move with you and your legion, or a way to further continue a combo attack that just beat the shit out of them. There's all sorts of cool combo moves in this game. There's so many combo moves that even when I was getting footage for this video, I was still finding new combos I've never seen before. You can send out your legion and jump to them, and you can even do a kick attack while jumping to them. You can wrap your chain around the demons, temporarily paralyzing them in some sexy bondage. If a demon's preparing to charge at you, you and your legion can make like a slingshot with the chain, catch the demon, and toss them back around. Stupid ass demon. You can do a spin attack, and then toss the sword to your dog, and then they do a big spin attack. Good boy. You can finish off your enemy by ripping its fucking soul out, just like Alexis did. And using that to restore your health. I'm sure at least one of these moves is a JoJo reference. I wouldn't know, I haven't seen much of the show. As you use your legion more, you can fill in more slots on your skill tree, and you'll get more powers and special moves. It's a sign of you becoming closer to your legion. So many cool moves in this game. I don't know, almost as if they'd be a good fit for Smash Brothers. I don't know, maybe someday I'll make a part 4 of this series where I'll hypothesize a potential Smash Bros. Moveset for them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe someday. There's also other cool combat features that are super spoilery for the game's story, so I'm not going to be mentioning it in this video, but just know there's other stuff and it's really cool! But what do you fight? Man, there's a ton of well-designed enemies in this game. And every single level is constantly introducing new enemy types and variations for you to encounter because good game design. Man, you got extras from the Thriller music video, the 49ers' defensive linemen, angry Lucario who are super quick, flame swordsmen, fairies from Zelda that buff your foes, Ariana Grande, big multi-phase battles that you have your big animated sky battle against, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not showing because of spoilers. But certain enemies are more vulnerable to, or can only be defeated by, techniques exclusive to one legion, which makes it so that you're not just using one legion the whole game, because that's good game design. Yeah, but what's the music like? Man, this soundtrack's rad as hell. One of, if not the best soundtrack for 2019, even though it wasn't nominated by the Game Awards because, I don't know, maybe the Game Awards has a strong Western bias. Ever thought about that? But anyways, this soundtrack is so good, I want to take the waveform of the Astral Chain soundtrack, print it out, mix that shit up in a smoothie, and inject it directly into my veins. There's two types of good video game music. Songs that sound really good on their own, and songs that fit what's going on in the game really well. It's like a spectrum, you know? The Astral Chain OST is both of these things. You got your chill songs for walking around, then you got your bombastic songs for fighting. And the soundtrack does the seamless transition thing that games like some of the recent Fire Emblem games do, where they slide between exploration and combat phases. When you're fighting, the music is hype as hell, gets your blood pumping. And when you're chilling out at Police HQ, it's unregistered Hypercam 2. Some of the songs sound similar to this super niche anime that I'm not sure that many people would have heard of called Demon Slayer, which kind of makes sense. Both are about a human with a sword teaming up with a demon to fight other demons. What are some criticisms you have about the game? None? I mean, obviously no game is perfect, but I really can't think of anything to criticize the game on that wouldn't be mostly nitpicking. I mean, the final boss is a big difficulty spike compared to the rest of the game. The Iris startup shutdown sounded...
Iris shut down. Iris startup. Iris shut down.
The traffic removal puzzle could eat my entire asshole. You can cheese a lot of the big bosses just by spamming the gun. A sequel hasn't been officially announced yet. They released the game in the middle of a bunch of other major Switch releases, so it didn't get talked about as much as it should have. Oftentimes during combat, there's like 18 billion particle effects on screen, like a lot of other Platinum games, So if you're watching someone else play the game, like on a stream, or if a friend invited you over to come check out this dope game he won't shut up about, and you don't already have an intricate knowledge of the game's combat system, it can be kind of hard to follow what's going on. Also, if you're fighting multiple enemies at once, it can be tough to lock on to the correct one, and the controls can be a tad bit stiff at times, especially when you're getting comboed on by multiple attacks. It'd be nice if the combat was a little bit more fluid, sort of like Bayonetta to be honest, but the combat is still really fun regardless. Now here's a bunch of cool stuff I didn't know where else to put in the video.
In song form.
When two rookie cops received a legion, they went on a journey to clean up the streets. They're not very friendly. Look at them struggle. Looks like a bum deal. Idle animation show. The Beast Legion is cute. Yeah, it's basically a dog. You toss it your sword and it does all the work. Real cool loading screen for crossing dimensions. I'm in a kaleidoscope, cute but on screen. Toss a coin to Astral Chain. Go play this fucking game. Go play this goddamn game. Oh ho! Toss a coin to Astral Chain. It's such an awesome game. The game's the perfect length. Yeah, not too long or too short. 25 to 30 hours, plus bonus stuff too. There's a photo mode. If you're into that, take lots of cute pictures, register them. It's like a lot of breaks in the song. Lots of achievements, good replay value. You can unlock different costumes to look really dope. Laffy runs around, got supersonic speed. There's so much going on. Now go play this game. Toss a coin to Astral Chain. It's a really good game. No, it's one of the best games. I promise. Won't regret buying this game. It's a good investment of your time. I will go stream it sometime. Not really sure when though. I'm pretty busy though and lazy. But keep an eye out for the stream. It will be a fun stream. But YouTube doesn't send notifications, so follow me on Twitter. Don't really have a lot of followers, not sure why. Are you streaming here or over on Twitch? Have not decided yet though. But that's it. Video's over.